Hey y'all, this is Liz with our latest episode of Gun Gals Live. I am back from an extended period away, and so I'm really excited to be back with you guys. We have a fun show planned for y'all and are excited to get to it. But first, let's run through tonight's panel of lovely ladies. We have the Gun Gals, including our Minthia. Hey.
Hello.
How's it
I had to find my
going?
button. I'm good. How are you today?
Doing great. We also have Jessie. How are you, lady?
I'm doing good. I hope everybody out there is having a great night. It is Sunday.
Woo! We'll forget what tomorrow is. And we have Frankie.
Hi.
Hey. All right. Before we get started, we want to give a huge shout out to our awesome Patreon supporters. We've got Rob C., Clovertack, and Georgia Trucker. Thank you guys all for your support for Gun Gals. We love having y'all along for the ride, and be checking out our Patreon. We will be having more stuff coming out on there here soon. So definitely check it out. All right. If you're new to Gun Gals, we would like to invite you to our Facebook page. And for the ladies, find our Ladies Only Gun Gals group on Facebook. Our group is where ladies can ask questions or share experiences with other gun carrying ladies, as well as keep our discussions going through the week. So definitely check us out. On one more side note before we jump into tonight, tomorrow is our Minthia and Clovertack's 24th wedding anniversary. Yay!
Yay!
Happy early anniversary.
So tonight we're having a Q&A, but our first question for the night, what's your secret?
I don't know. We don't argue over little things. I can tell you that. So that's a big deal for us. So, and I can tell you, I was nervous as all get out 24 years ago. I remember being at Walmart looking for stuff because I had broken out in hives. So,
Oh, no fun.
yeah. But it's been a good road. Seriously, we do not fight over little things. He laughs because, I mean, he'll purposely pick fights, and I'm like, whatever. I don't care. No biggie. I don't care.
Yeah,
something he expects me to fight over, and whatever. No
See,
biggie.
that's the thing that we all need to learn. I know, well, at least speaking for myself, that's something I need to learn. So that's a good tip to everybody out there, guys too.
Well, I mean, there are things. I mean, trust me, there are things that you argue over, and you're gonna argue over it. Okay, so we redecorated our house a little bit, and we kind of did some remodeling. There are certain things within that. I don't argue over it. If it's something he wants, fine, whatever. I don't care. It's not worth enough for me for us to have a knockdown drag out over it. Where we're gonna eat, it's not worth me fighting with him over. If it's somewhere he wants and he feels strongly enough about it, let's do it. I don't care. So
That's where the other secret for marriage comes in, where you tell him something and make him think that it's his idea in the first place.
Oh, there you go.
At least that's the other one I'm working on.
Typically, if it's something that really matters to me, I say something, and he's not usually argumentative. But seriously, we don't sweat small stuff. So
Awesome. Well, congrats again. We're excited for
thank you. Thank you much.
All right. So tonight we're going to have a live Q&A with the Gun Gals. We've had a lot of changes going on with Gun Gals lately and wanted to kind of wind down the summer by answering your questions. If you guys have any questions you'd like to be answered, please tag Gun Gals in your question and put it in the side chat. We're going to try to get to them all, but if we miss someone, please call us out and we will go back. That being said, we're going to start out with a few questions from the Gun Gals to each other. Just some things, a lot of things has changed. A lot of people, me, have been missing. And just a lot of questions to put out there and just share with you guys. So we're going to kind of open it up. Who on the panel has the first question? Whoever wants to go first.
Well, I had a question for Liz.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you were gone for an extended period of time.
Forever.
Well, your cruise was what, a week?
Yep.
And then church camp was 2 weeks.
Yep.
So,
and then there was like come down time and go up time.
right. So, how did you deal with packing?
Packing. Packing is hard. For the cruise, I have been researching packing for probably about 6 to 8 months prior to leaving. I was researching packing lists, like all the packing lists I could find on Pinterest, all the lists I could find. I like scoured the Carnival website, just finding out what their rules and everything were. And because here's the part that was difficult. We had planned on our first excursion was going to be in Jamaica. And that excursion included going zip lining and then going tubing down the river and then going to eat lunch at a little cafe. All three of which typically require different outfits, and you can't really bring anything with you on any of those three. So trying to find one pair of shoes, one outfit, one thing to fit all that. And then on top of that, you're in the middle of the water. You know, it can be extremely stormy, which it was for the first couple days actually, because we were going through a tropical storm that you guys ended up having not long after we went through it. So we had to plan for all kinds of weather for every single day, and it all has to fit in an itty bitty cabin. So that was fun. But yeah, it took a lot of planning for that one. It was, I ended up packing probably 3 outfits per day, a lot of things I could reuse. The number one tip I would have for anyone that is packing for like a cruise, my biggest tip would be take advantage of the onboard laundry service because nobody does, and you'll get your clothes super fast back. It's like $15 for a whole load, but that's like a gigantic bag that they give you, and you fill it up, and then they completely fold and launder everything perfectly. So you don't even have to worry about it. You just show back up in your room and everything's laundered. So I would highly recommend that.
Do you think they would do that at my house?
Dude, I would pay $15 a bag for that stuff.
Right?
Hi,
please.
Right? Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that would be my biggest.
Be amazing.
Right. That's one thing.
Well spent.
I miss the not, you get spoiled on a cruise. I'm not even joking there. You get completely spoiled. All right. Any other questions? Well, I know we got a couple questions in the chat. We'll let them add up just for a minute. Maybe one more question from the panel. Anybody?
What was your favorite thing about going on a cruise? Because me and my husband, I have yet to be on a cruise. So I'm a little curious. What was your favorite thing about going on a cruise?
My favorite thing. This is going to sound terrible, and I'm such a fat girl for saying it, but the food, like legit. The food was so good. We had like the most amazing food. Like I got to try just about anything. And I'm one of those people, like I didn't used to be this way, but now I'll try almost anything. So we tried escargot, we tried braised rabbit, we've tried just crazy stuff on the boat. And then the one night we actually had a date night and we went to the steakhouse, and it was like $60 total plus wine. And we ended up spending like $100 for what would basically be like a $300 meal at any fancy restaurant if you're lucky, without like a bottle of wine. Like it was crazy, but it was so good. And Shane just posted on the chat. He said, favorite thing about the cruise is the free childcare. I will second that as well.
Okay. Tardot, if you're still out in the chat, we need to go on a cruise. You know, I'm a total foodie.
Oh, dude, it was literally the things I got to try on that cruise. I'll probably never get a chance, like unless we save up and go do like unless we go on another cruise, basically. I won't get to try that stuff again. So it was really cool. I mean, there were a lot of I really am one of the people who enjoys like diving into cultures and learning more about the places I go. So there were a lot of cool things with that, but the food was really like, and that sounds terrible to say the food was the best thing, like nothing else was good, but the food was that good that it topped zip lining through the rainforest in Jamaica. So yeah. Anyway, enough of me talking about food. We got a couple of questions out in the chat that we'll go ahead and get to. Let's see. I'll come back to Rob's question in a second. Sean said, have you ever steered your other halves into a purchase because you wanted it more than they did, even if it meant taking them out of something they wanted? And what was it? Who wants to answer first? Anybody? Or I will.
I'm thinking about my answer.
I don't think that I've ever steered him from a purchase. Usually, if there's something that we want, we usually just go and get it, especially if it comes to guns and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say with ours, usually what happens is he'll have an idea of what he wants, and then I'll have an idea of what I want, and then he'll be like, "Oh, wow, your idea is way cooler. Let's go with that." That's usually just because he's acknowledging that I'm actually allowing us to spend a whole bunch of money on the gun. That's how it was with the Glock. He was looking at a new gun for me, because I wasn't a huge fan of my 357 revolver, and we were looking at a new conceal for me, and he was like, "Well, we could try this and this, and maybe the Smith and Wesson, and blah blah blah." And I'm like, "The Glock. I want the Glock." And he's like, "All right, cool. Let's go with the Glock." So yeah, it's not really the same.
That's awesome.
I think any big buys that we have, we talk about it way too much for somebody to be steering the other person in the direction. Especially when it comes to guns and stuff, we talk about it a lot and see what I can and cannot shoot. Since I am the weaker of the two, small purchases, I just say, like, is this in our budget this week? Can I buy this DVD? Can I buy this outfit? Whatever it is. He just goes out and gets stuff, but it's cool.
We're an odd couple. We have his and her money, and so if he wants something, typically, if he can afford it, he goes and buys it. If it's something I want and I can afford it, I go buy it. Typically, if it's around income tax and we have the money, either we agree on something together or we split it, and he gets something he wants and I get something I want. So that's the way we do it.
There you go. That works. All right. Rob C asked, "What's it like going out of the country without your gun and walking and driving without it?" Thinking that one's geared more towards me, since unless y'all have been out of the country and want to answer it too, by all means. But I don't know. Have any of y'all had that experience? All kind of fairly recent to carrying, so I don't know if it would have been during a time when y'all carried. But I'll go ahead and answer. Oh, do what?
I've never left the country.
Really?
I've only been to Ohio, Indiana, Texas, Iowa, Kentucky, and Tennessee. I'm not counting Illinois because I was born in that state, so that doesn't count.
We got to get you to Canada. At least cross the border once. It's fun. As far as going to another country and not being able to carry, it was more of, it's the law on the boat, because it's a whole other government there. You're not in America when you're on the boat. You're actually in Panama, because the boat's registered in Panama, and most of the stuff, they basically can make like their own rules and stuff. But yeah, guns are obviously not allowed, just like any travel. Knives aren't allowed, stuff like that. But you can have a wine bottle opener, which is kind of like a knife on it. So, take what you want from that. But yeah, it was, I'm getting a weird look. It was weird at first because I'm so used to carrying that it was a really weird feeling to just not. But there was so much going on. It's easy to get distracted by everything and just kind of let yourself slip into it. And just kind of enjoy it. Now, when we went to some of the sketchy places, like we totally went through some of the ghettos, and that was a little creepy when we were just kind of like walking through the ghettos, even with a group. And there was actually a restaurant we went to in Cozumel that the way the restaurant and the little villa the restaurant was in made sure that it was safe for tourists is they gave policemen free lunch and dinner. So there was always a police presence eating there. So that was comforting, but at the same time, a little nerve-wracking that was necessary. So yeah, it's nerve-wracking when you're used to it, but it's easy when things are going fun and you're not really too worried about it. Although with Shane, he was on edge the whole time, and that's just how he is, especially with crowds. He's very uncomfortable in a situation he can't take control of, and when you're on a cruise ship, you can't really take control of anything. So he might have a different answer for that. Anyone else have something to throw in on that one?
Sorry, I had kids screaming. What was the question one more time?
About leaving the country and not being able to carry.
The last time I left the country, I wasn't old enough to carry. I am pretty much a homebody, and I stay where I don't need a passport, so I'm a little boring.
It's all good. We need to get you guys, like, we're going to go on a field trip to Mexico. Everybody hop in.
So to say, I've not been out of the country either, so.
Okay, so we're all going to go to Mexico and get some vanilla beans and see if someone doesn't have vanilla bean ice cream, because I swear to you, that is the best stuff I've had in my entire life. Like, it's unexplainable how good it was to have real, legitimate, crushed vanilla bean ice cream. We're doing it.
Well, the hope is that when our youngest daughter graduates, she'll actually graduate twice. She'll graduate in this coming May, and then she'll graduate again the May after that. After she graduates the second time, we're hoping that we are able to take a cruise. If Clover doesn't go, it will at least be she and I.
Yes, do it. Girls cruise.
For a graduation, gift getaway thing. So
do it.
Girls week. That'll be awesome.
Heck yeah.
There are plans.
All right. Our next question is also from Rob C. Who cooks better in your house, you or your spouse? Shane cooks more. He says he cooks better, and I will admit he cooks fancy things better. But when it comes down to like good old Southern cooking, I cook that better, but he doesn't like it because he has high expectations. So all that to say, Shane is the chef in our house. I do not. I do cook, and I can cook, but he cooks. That guy's life. You want to take that one?
Who cooks better in my house? Me, for sure, without a doubt. When I married my husband, he was a mama's boy. I don't know that he could have cooked toast. So, he can cook now, don't get me wrong. He has learned. I don't know if he's watching Midnight's Chat or other YouTube stuff. He actually has made some different things that he is actually, I can't even think of, pot stickers. He made some pot stickers and froze them. And I showed him how to fix it earlier in our steamer. But ultimately, yes, I can cook. I cook way better. So, yes. He says, would not have married her if she couldn't cook. No way. True story. First time I met him, or the first time I met his, the first time I cooked food for his family, I cooked meatloaf and mashed potatoes. I can't remember if I made homemade bread or not, but my husband does not eat meatloaf. He didn't tell me this. He ate meatloaf that night. I don't know that he's eaten it since then, but he did actually eat meatloaf.
That's funny.
So, yeah. Anyway.
That's really funny.
I was only 17, but yes, he ate all that. It was pretty awesome.
Aww. Good for you, Clover Tack. Jesse, what do you think?
I can cook goulash and the stuff that you pretty much just throw together, but I'm going to have to say that Tardot is the better cook just because he makes amazing chicken fried steaks, and that is the best way to my heart right there. I love some chicken fried steaks, and the fact that that man can cook my favorite food.
Dude, that's awesome.
He's the best cook of this relationship because I can't cook chicken fried steaks.
Frankie, what about you?
Hi, my name is Frankie. I set fires to kitchens very easily. He cooks.
Hi, Frankie. We're going to have our not Cookers Anonymous or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely need that. Need a support crew. We need to get this going.
All right.
Toaster stoves. What else I stuff? Oh, I almost blew up a microwave twice in my life.
Ooh.
I'm gonna have to hear that story one of these days.
Yeah, one of these days.
Well, we'll keep you up to that one. Next question. Who here hates cats? I do. That was from George Grayson Cat. I'll admit it. I will be fully open. I hate cats.
Okay, I never said I hated cats. I don't care for cats or dogs equally. I never used the word hate. I'd rather have fish.
I did. I used the word hate.
I did not use the word hate. Just throwing that out there. I did not.
Now, just to clarify, I hate cats as a whole. However, there are some cats that are okay. Like I can handle them and I deal with them, and some have even been slightly endearing to me. And I don't hate cat people. I love plenty of cat people, and I handle their cats very well. But in general, I hate cats.
Now, I have a question for everybody in the panel.
Mm-hmm.
What is the one movie that your husband loves that drives you nuts?
Ace Ventura. Freaking hate that movie.
Anything within the laugh stick comedy thing of airplanes and crap like that.
What was Frankie, what were you showing?
King Arthur. What was this? They released this last year, I think.
Oh yeah, with that dude from Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, and Jude Law. I hate it. It's so annoying.
Jesse, what's yours?
I don't really have a movie that I hate that he watches. It's more of some YouTube channels that he will watch because they're just ridiculous. And one of the channels that shall not be named, I can't watch 15 minutes of it without getting a headache. And he always watches that channel. But yeah.
So I don't know if this is a question or if it was already answered, but I'll go ahead and just call it out anyway. Music Lover said, who is married to Clover Tack or who to what chatter? So we'll just put this out there. I am married to Jill's Outdoors. We actually share the channel. That guy's wife. I'll take it to you.
I am married to Clover Tack. 24 years tomorrow.
Woohoo! Gunpowder.
I am married to Tardot 357.
And Frankie.
I am married to Rob C.
Awesome. Let's see. Making sure I'm not skipping any questions. Feel free to jump in, ladies, if I'm skipping anybody. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties with my computer. While I'm trying to find that question, we do have another question that was sent in to us. If you can have any gun from a movie or TV show, what would it be? Let's start with Frankie this time.
The gun that Spike Spiegel uses in Cowboy Bebop, which coincidentally I didn't think was a real gun, but apparently there is a maker out there that makes a version of it. So that's gonna be on my next wish list because I have to have that like now.
Awesome. Gunpowder, what's yours?
Pretty much any gun or guns that Dean Winchester has used in Supernatural.
I love it. That guy's wife, what's yours?
I don't have one. I know, I'm really boring. I'm so sorry.
No, not boring.
I
Means you don't overanalyze your TV shows and movies like the rest of us do.
Oh my gosh, I really don't, but my husband does because I don't even remember what it was, but there was a John Travolta movie, and if he's listening, he could probably tell you what it is. But he went back and he had to stop it, and there was something about a vase. I don't even remember all of it, but he had to stop it, and he had to figure out exactly what gun they were using in it, and then later on he had to get it. And oh my God, I mean, yeah, that's the way. That's who I'm married to. So again, I've said this multiple times. We are completely night and day opposite. So if this is something he would do, I totally would not do it. I don't know. I don't care.
That's funny.
Anyway, yeah.
So I have 2 currently, but mine changes on a regular basis. As for long gun, I would totally pick Ripley's M41A pulse rifle from Aliens, which I just found out. I'll have to put the link in the bio or in the description that you can get a version of that gun that works. And instead of a grenade launcher, it's a shotgun on the bottom, but it is so cool. So cool. So excited.
That sounds awesome.
It is on my list. I want it. My other one is for like a pistol. I would go with the Noisy Cricket from Men in Black, the little gun that Agent J was issued, because what's better than an easily concealed gun with super ridiculous power?
That would fit in my heel boots.
I know,
my little
right?
ankle boots. That thing is so cute. I could totally, yeah, I want that one too. Tardot, I hope you're making a list.
I want it. All right, next question seems very specific. They must be trying to single a person out. Have you ever been chased by an animal or chicken? Let's start with Frankie on that one.
No, I have never been chased by a chicken, but I used to chase my grandpa's rooster when we were in Texas. I used to try and catch it because the thing would wake me up like at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I would want sweet revenge. I never caught the thing.
Aw. Gunpowder, what about you?
I have been chased by goats, chickens, and cows. My papa had a farm, and goats, chickens, and cows are jerks, and that's why I eat them.
There you go. That guy's wife. What about you?
I've been chased by a dog that took a plug out of my knee when I was little, but otherwise, I'm good. I try to stay away from animals.
So this question was specifically meant to single me out because earlier this week, there was a video caught, which can't be shared right now because we're trying to figure out how to edit it properly so you don't see things Shane doesn't want you to see in our backyard. But we came home from camp and I hadn't, seen the chickens in 2 weeks because I was away at camp working. And I go back there just routinely, go in the backyard, going to feed them. And the rooster, one of them, comes out of nowhere and just starts freaking attacking me, like jumping into my face, attacking me with like talons and all, or not talons, but like whatever, claws and all. And I freaked out a little bit. Like, I know I'm not supposed to freak out when they do that. And I know I'm supposed to stand my ground and be the alpha here, but I was in no mood to be alpha. And like fight or flight took over. And apparently when it comes to chickens, I chose flight. And I ran around the whole backyard and I ran around the wood pile in the back and I ran back to the house as they're attacking me because both roosters were on it at this point. And they're attacking me and I fall in the dirt because I tripped. And then they start jumping on top of me and attacking me and I kick them off and I run inside and they didn't get fed that morning. So here soon, at least one of them is going to be dinner sooner than we expected. So yeah, that's my chase by a chicken story. You're welcome. It's super embarrassing. Like, no joke.
Nice. Very nice.
I wonder if we're all going to talk to
We love you, honey.
And soon its name will be Dinner.
Well, actually, one of the chicken roosters' name was Dinner already, and the other was Alice. But now we think, because Alice is the one who's a total jackbutt, like he's a total jerk. He's the one who instigated this whole thing. So Alice is going to become Dinner, and Dinner's going to become Alice.
Okay, probably because you named him Alice.
Well, it's an endearing reason.
Okay.
We named him Alice because as we were going up to Tulsa, we were listening to the radio, and the song Rooster came on like 1,000 times by the band Alice in Chains. And so, and it was right after we got the chickens. So we're like, we should totally name the rooster Alice because we thought we only had one.
Best band ever.
Shane says it's the best band ever. So, and then it came into question when he started being a jerk. He's being a little more like Alice Cooper than we imagined. So, but yeah, that's the origin for the name. No, Alice Cooper isn't a jerk, but he does have a very dramatic personality on stage. And so does our rooster. Sorry. I'm sure you guys don't want to hear any more rooster stories.
Oh, don't give them an option. They'll vote for yes.
All right, next question. What has been the most accurate pistol anyone has shot? To date, my most accurate pistol is my Glock 17. I love that baby, and I'm better with it than I've been with any other pistol. That guy's wife.
Probably one of the 4H pistols. They're 22s. Other than that, my husband's Glock is pretty on the money accurate. It's pretty awesome. Of course, I'm not Jesse, and I can't take it away from him. So,
Yep.
I'm stuck with mine.
Gunpowder, what's yours?
Mine will probably always be the Smith & Wesson 1911 and 45 caliber. But unfortunately, my husband took that back for a while. So I'm going to have to do some major sweet talking to be able to have that thing back because it's shiny, it's pretty, and I nickname it Tamatoa, so I need it back. Hint, 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 Tardot. I need it back.
That's awesome. Frankie.
I realized you washed all the clothes at home.
Mine is this one. It's a SIG 380. I've talked about it before, but it really is my favorite all-time gun. I even, for my profile picture on here, I even took this and put it on top of my Bible and edit the photo a little bit with the color.
Awesome. It's
But
pretty.
I love it. It's very pretty. It's very light, and I can operate it pretty good. So that's what
Nice.
matters.
Next question. Do you prefer a carry gun with a hammer or without? Let's start with Frankie on that one.
I kind of don't care. I'll go either way on that one for different reasons.
Gunpowder, what's your thought?
I don't think I've ever shot a gun that didn't have a hammer, so I'm going to have to go with has a hammer.
You did, but you probably didn't notice.
At our range day?
Yeah, my Glock doesn't have a hammer. It's hammerless.
Oh. Then I'm going to go with it doesn't really matter. Because I obviously didn't know. That's pretty awesome, though.
Yeah, that's one of the things Shane's like, he doesn't like as much about it because he has to get used to it. But yeah, I like it's mine is hammerless and safetyless. That guy's wife, what do you prefer?
I don't really have a preference. I've shot both. Yeah, I don't.
Yep. That's where I'm at too. Like I'm good with my Glock. I really love my Glocks. So I'm probably going to say my preference would probably be hammerless, but I have no problem shooting hammered rifles, like at all, or pistols. So yeah, it is what it is. Next question. Do you carry with one in the chamber or no? Let's start with that guy's wife.
Can I sound stupid answering this?
No.
I carry a revolver.
So it doesn't really apply to you. I mean, it does though, but you could, because you could carry on an empty chamber.
Why?
I mean, why would you? But you could.
When I carry my revolver, there is one in every hole.
I hear
Good?
you.
Are we good?
Yep, good.
We're good?
Good.
Okay.
Gunpowder, what about you?
Like, is this like on an everyday kind of thing or?
What do you
while you're-
prefer?
If I'm at home, I usually don't have one in the chamber. I know that there's probably going to be some people out there that aren't very happy with that answer, but don't usually have one in the chamber when I'm at the house. But if I go out, even if it's to the grocery store or something, I do have one in the chamber.
Hey, you do you. Whatever way makes you feel the best and safe and doing good. Frankie, what about you?
I prefer to carry one in the chamber. However, I am still getting used to that, so I'm working my way towards it.
Cool. For me, I typically do carry with one in the chamber, although I'll admit there have been situations where I don't. There's just some different situations where, and it's just stupid stuff. It's like a mind over matter kind of thing for me, I think. It's something that I kind of like you were saying, like at home or something, or if I think for any reason a gun would be more accessible to a kid, even though there's no way they'd ever touch it, because if there was, I wouldn't be doing my job properly. But if for some reason that thought got in my head under a couple circumstances, I have carried with one not in the chamber, using that as reasoning. But again, that's, you know, I think that's just one of those, like, sometimes fear kind of gets in your head and it happens. But yeah, being honest here. Next question is, who drives better, you or your spouse? Let's start with that guy's wife.
I actually just put in the chat, dirt track or NASCAR?
F1.
Well, see, you just lost me.
That's European Formula car.
Oh, see. My husband is definitely the better driver. I drive a yellow car now. That way you can see it when I put it in the creek down the road. Because I had a silver looking one, Mustang, and I put it in the creek. I've put one into a tree. I've hit a couple of other vehicles. Definitely Chris. Definitely Clover. Definitely Clover. we're all alive. I promise. We're all alive. But
Right.
but I'm gonna pull up on your butt, and right before I hit you, I'm gonna zoom around. So he does stuff like that just to irritate me. He calls it, I'm a good defensive driver. And I'm like, whatever. Okay. Anyway.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Gunpowder, what about y'all?
Okay, see, when I had thought about this earlier, I was saying that Tardot was a better driver because I have road rage, but I have had less wrecks than Tardot, and I'm the one with road rage. So I'm going to have to say that even though I got road rage, I'm a better driver because I don't have wrecks. Yep, that's my answer. I'm going to stick to it. I'm the better driver.
There you go. Frankie, what about you?
If we're going slowly on wrecks, Rob's the better driver, and I suck. I've had 2 wrecks in my life. But if we're talking about racing, I'm the better driver.
See, I'm not going to use that basis, though, because I've been in more wrecks than Shane, but none of them were my fault, as according to the police and like everyone involved. So I'm going to side with Shane is probably the better driver. Definitely racing the better driver, but he's probably the better driver, but he has the worst road rage. And I think I handle driving better. I'll put it that way. And he's not going to like that answer, but whatever. Rob C. asked, when was the last time you talked to someone that's thinking about becoming a gun person and looking to buy their first gun? Just the other day, actually, for me. But I'll let you guys chime in on that one. How about Frankie?
3 weeks ago. Coworker. I'm still working on her, though. She's very, very new.
Hey, we all start somewhere.
Yeah, she went out shooting with her mom, and she couldn't tell me the kind of she shot, so that's really how new she is.
I hear you. Gunpowder, what about you?
Mine would have to be Wednesday. It was a girl I went to high school with.
Nice. That guy's wife. Did we lose her? That guy's wife.
Dadgummit. There I am. The silly button wouldn't work. I don't know that I've tried to talk anybody into getting a gun or what gun to get. But at work, I tend to talk about my gun gals and our YouTube chats and stuff like that. And it's always pretty interesting because people that you wouldn't think, because, we're all dressed in uniforms and stuff at work. So you don't necessarily know who is or who isn't, and we can't carry at work. So when I start talking about you ladies or what my husband does or something, it's always interesting to hear what somebody else has to say. And then you get really excited and I get to tell them about my gun gals and, that we shoot and, what we carry. And it's just always awesome. So.
Awesome. I love it when the conversation just comes out in a place like that where it's like, you're not expecting it at all.
Well, what was really cool is one of the nurses that was orienting me my first day, we were talking about, how I got into nursing and stuff like that. And we were talking about our spouses and stuff. And my boss came over and talked, and I was like, so when do I need to start asking off, because we're going to be going to Tulsa in November. We're going to go to Vegas in January. And they started talking about Vegas and when they went and where they went and all that. And they're like, so what are you going to do? I was like, oh, well, ours is more of a working vacation. We're going to go to SHOT Show. And the dude that was sitting there, they'd been with me all day. His mouth just hit the floor and he's like, oh, do you have an extra ticket? Can I go? And I mean, oh my God, he talked about SHOT Show the rest of the damn day. I mean, oh my God. So
That's
every so
hilarious.
often he's like, do you have an extra ticket? I'm sneaking your luggage, does your husband need somebody on his camera crew or something? It's freaking hilarious. So anyway.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Mine would be just recently, I went to a Girl and a Gun meetup, which is an organization that gets women together to shoot. And it was kind of like a try it out kind of meetup. So everyone brought a whole bunch of different guns that they owned. And we invited a bunch of people, a bunch of ladies who either hadn't shot or were interested in shooting in a very open environment. So just women only. And we had an actual NRA instructor with us, one of the women. And everyone brought different types of pistols and revolvers. And so there were about 4 different women who either hadn't shot before or had only shot once or twice with their husbands, but kind of wanted to learn more. And that was just a lot of fun, like watching them try things for the first time and like watching them hit the target and do well for the first time without like the stigma of you got to do this right and this right and this right and you have to hold this perfectly. Like you think back to your first time doing it and all, and it's like that's awesome. That feeling was awesome. And that's what gets you hooked, you start enjoying it and loving what you're doing. A couple of them actually joined the group, so we're helping them kind of learn. So that's a lot of fun. Next question. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you choose? Let's start with that guy's wife.
What was the question again? Sorry.
No, you're fine. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you choose?
I don't know that I would go anywhere, and that sounds really plain and simple, and I know it does. My husband and I were talking yesterday. We had went to Tyler, which is a big town, and we live in the country, and it's really nice living in the country, not having people live like right next to you, and as soon as you open your back door, somebody's right there. And so I don't know. I kind of like our solitude and just kind of being, somewhere yet nowhere. So, I mean, I can't imagine being anywhere else. So, I know that's simple, but I'm a simple person, I promise. So,
that's a good answer. That's what we all want to have as our answer.
Yeah, yeah.
Good answer.
Thank you.
Gunpowder, what about you?
I really love living in Texas, but this heat, y'all, like it's a little ferocious for this girl. So I'm excited for when we move to Michigan because they have not hit in the 100s this summer. So I'm a little excited to get away from the heat.
You know that Michigan has snow, right?
Yes. And I haven't got snow this past winter. So that's the other reason why I'm really excited. Apparently they get a lot of snow. So if anybody in the Michigan area sees a 50-foot snowman, this girl probably built it. I'm just going to let that be out there. I'm probably going to build the biggest snowman Michigan's ever seen.
I forgot. You've already always lived in Texas, haven't you?
Yes, born and raised. It's been a little weird.
Yeah. I'll ask you how you feel about the snow in like 5 years. I've done my snow. I'm good.
I like snow and I really like the cold. It's the heat that just really drives me crazy.
I get that.
But if we ever get up there or win the lottery or something, then I honestly wouldn't mind living in Texas in Michigan's winter. And then when it's like Texas too hot to even be here, then we can just go to Michigan and be like, okay, we're getting away from the heat. We'll pack up and go back to Texas when we get tired of all that snow. That would be awesome. Can I move my answer to 2 places? I'd love to live in Texas and Michigan during the weird seasons.
Hey, that works. All right. Frankie, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would you choose?
Tennessee. It's beautiful over there. It's like heaven.
It's a good state. Cool. Mine would probably be honestly, my dream place is basically Armenthea, what you have. That's our 10-year goal, is getting some country land here in Texas. We want to be close enough like we are now to the coast to literally just up and decide, hey, we're going to the beach to fish today. But far enough away that we're not going to be wiped out necessarily by the next hurricane. So yeah, but definitely out in the country for the same reasons. Next question is, Rob C., what is your biggest fear or fear of? That is a very scary question because we don't know what y'all are going to use that for. And all of our husbands are on here, and if you don't already know it, I'm sure they do.
Right? It's totally a sabotage, especially if we're all together.
So
I know.
What was the question?
What is your biggest fear? I like the silence there.
Well, I mean, I don't know, because I'm obviously. So I don't know. I always have my fear that my husband's not going to take his blood pressure medicine and that he's going to stroke out or something and then leave me, and then his family's going to think I killed him. That is a real thing, by the way.
Oh, I totally believe that.
So
I get it.
Yeah.
Get that. Gunpowder, what's your biggest fear?
Okay, I don't have just one. Like I'm gonna be the oddball probably. Scared to death of clowns. Really, really, really hate spiders. Like my nightmare would be having a spider land on me. I turn into the biggest crybaby around clowns and spiders and scorpions. They're the worst. I don't know why they're even around. But I think my biggest fear would probably be someone taking my kids. Like that's really why I became a gun owner and got my concealed carry license, because that's something that happens on a almost daily basis somewhere in the United States. And as a parent, that's probably my biggest fear, is that I'm going to turn and get distracted for that split second, and one or both of my kids are no longer going to be here. So I make sure that I'm not looking at my phone when we go out, and I try to make sure that I'm aware of my surroundings, and I'm looking at everybody like they could be a predator or shady person. And so I'm probably the weird person when I go out in public. If anybody ever goes out in public with me, I'm a nutcase when I got my kids with me.
I think that's pretty standard, though, of most moms, especially nowadays, because I definitely share that one with you. Frankie, what's your biggest fear?
I am terrified of heights. Also, rooms without windows kind of really freak me out. I tend to hyperventilate.
I get that. They get creepy. Mine, I have a lot of mini fears, but I have a couple like big ones. I share the heights with you, which is, yeah, like I can handle some heights if there's like a solid, legitimate surface below me.
You said
But
you did zip lining though, and you're afraid of
I
heights?
know. Yeah, that's a long story. That's like another day's story. Like I said, I'm good with a solid surface. The zip lining we had planned on doing was from rock to rock, like in a canyon in the rainforest. So you were literally going from one side of the canyon to the other and back before you went tubing down the river. The zip lining adventure we ended up on went from rock to rock to rock to treetop, to where you literally are standing on a 1 foot wide section of the top of a giant canopy tree in the rainforest where you can't see the ground. That was not cool. I mean, it's fun to have the memory, but I'm probably never doing that one again. And so you went from rock to rock to rock to treetop to treetop to treetop to treetop to treetop to rock to treetop, and then you ended. It was awful. It was awesome, but it was awful. But yeah, heights. I share gunpowders. I think every mom has that fear. So don't be weirded out. You're not alone. My other weird fear is like anything to do with eyes. I can't. I don't know why. There's no reason, but I just can't do eyes. Like anything to do with them or anything happening to them in movies, like I can't. I just can't. So yeah, it's my weird fear of the day. And that one's going to come to bite me in the butt, I'm sure.
Well, I still have fears of something happening to my children, but at some point when they grow up and move off, you kind of have to let some of that go. It's kind of like those apron strings that you kind of have to let go and be like, okay. But now when I have my grandbabies with me, you always have that fear. Like if they run into the bedpost, they go home with a bruise on their face. You're like, oh my God, I'm like the worst grandmother ever. You have those fears of them getting hurt while they're with you or something. And right. I get all of that, and I've been there, and I wish I could say it all the way, but it doesn't. It's kind of like when the whole clown scare was really bad when, what was it, the It movie came out or whatever, and my child was at college, and she's texting us, and I didn't sleep well because the school's on lockdown and stuff. What can you do?
Yep.
So, I get all of those things, but at some point I have to say, hey, I've taught them right, and she knows what to do to take care of herself. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. It's a good feeling that's to look forward to.
Yes, it's different from what y'all have now because I've been there. I've been there. There is light at the end of that tunnel, I promise.
Good to hear.
Yes.
All right. I think we have time for one more question, and it's from Georgia Trucker. When y'all had your range day, was there a gun that you liked and decided that you wanted to get for carry, not a dream gun, just another gun than what you already have? I didn't find one that I necessarily wanted to carry, but I did find one that I want to have. That guy's wife, Arminthia, brought one of Clover's 10 mils, and that was pretty sweet. I really like that gun, so now I want one. That guy's wife, did you have any?
It would have been Clover's Colt, and I can't remember the gauge on it right now, but it's a small pistol. And of course, I like your Glock 17 because, and I need to post that, but I had to figure out which gun it was because at the end of that, Gunpowder just told me how sexy I was at the end of that, shooting that.
That's awesome.
I know, I love that video. It's just like, yeah, it was awesome.
You got to post it.
I know, right? Yes. It's like 30 seconds, a 30-second clip, but it was still awesome.
Do it. Gunpowder, what was yours?
Okay, so that day was super awesome, but I've got two. For carry, it would definitely be the Colt. I think it was a 380. I'm not sure, but the Colt was super awesome.
The one that I brought.
Yes.
Yes, it was a Colt Mustang. Probably is what Clover said. It was the 380. Now that you're saying that, yes.
Oh yeah, the little bitty one.
Yes.
It was so awesome. It would fit in my cowboy boots, and it would literally go with every single outfit I have. It is the perfect gun.
It was awesome.
But a gun that I would really, 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 really like to have would definitely be the 45 mag revolver. That thing. Oh my gosh. It was the sexiest gun I've ever fired in my life. It made the 45 that I have look like a baby, and it was literally the coolest gun that I've ever shot. I'm super in love with it. And if my husband ever wants to show me how appreciative he is for me giving him kids, that would be the gun to buy me.
You know, I'm just sitting over here rolling and laughing because when you said it, I knew exactly which one you were talking about. I mean, it's the big gun. I mean, it's like
a big mamma jamma. So cool.
I mean, it's every bit of a ruler, I promise. Every bit of a ruler.
And I have a purse that would fit it, so I could conceal carry. And if I can't, I'll go get another femme fatale holster if I want to conceal carry that thing.
I'm going to keep that to myself.
Yes, I did. But that thing is so awesome. I would open carry that thing everywhere. It is so cool.
I would like to see her face when you go up to the owner of Femme Fatale and are like, hey, I want you to make something for me to carry this in.
I know. Her face
thought our guns were big then.
Yeah, her face was in shock when I wanted to fit the 1911 and 45 caliber. Could you imagine what her face would look like for a 45 mag revolver? Like, she looked at me like I've lost my mind. I'd be like, but it's a challenge. Can you do it? Be like Bob the Builder. Yes, you can.
You might have to have shorts, her make you like shorts or something for it instead.
I don't care what she does. I want that gun. Like, that says, I love my wife so much for giving me kids. This is the gun I'm buying her. Hint, hint, hint.
It was awesome when I pulled it out, and then you've got the ammo in her hand. She's got the 45. She's got her 45 ammo, and then I've got my 45 ammo. She's like, mine's the baby. And what did you call mine? What did you call mine? I
Big
can't
Bertha,
remember.
wasn't it? Big Bertha.
Big Bertha.
Big Bertha. Oh my gosh.
She's a beaut, and I definitely want her, and I would rock that gun every single day, everywhere. It's that awesome, y'all.
It was so awesome. And even at that, at the end of the day, the way as dirty as our hands were, and all, I mean, it was just all the guns in general. It was just the best time ever. We were so excited while we were there. It was awesome.
It was. Hey, Clover, we'll have to show. He's asking about which one was it. We'll have to show you video because I don't think any of us remember.
I don't know. It's the big 45 bag revolver. That's all I know.
Honey, it's sitting on the couch. I'll get it for you in a little bit. It's on the couch. I got this.
I'll have to have him cleared up for
us. Awesome.
Well, to include you, Frankie, I guess, is there any of the guns that were in any of the range day videos that you wish you could have shot?
No, but there is a gun that I really, really want. Last time we went out, kind of window gun shopping, I came across this one. It is a 6 Sluger. I know I don't say that right. I'm sorry. It's a P226 Legion RX. It'd be the full size. This thing has a red dot sight on it. It's really nice. It's a 9mm. And of course, being me, this thing's over $1,000.
Of course. It looks really bad.
Of course.
So it's awesome. All right. Well, I know there's other live chats going on now, so we're going to go ahead and wind down for the evening. Let's run through the panel one last time. Let's start with Frankie.
I just want to draw into Rob C's comment. Did you know that we have actual t-shirts and updated bags and so forth that you can buy to support your gun gals? On our spreadsheets, we'll put the link in our chat. Very awesome. I even decided to help design some things, and I know, Liz, we're going to get your input on some designs too, so there's more to come.
Yep, mine should be up, and I think Arminthia is going to talk about that a little bit in a minute. Gunpowder.
I just want to say thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. It has been awesome. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook group and our page. And of course, when I'm trying to do this, my daughter comes in acting like a goober. We have content constantly being put out. And if anybody has any questions that they would like us to answer throughout the week, send us an email at info@gun-gals.com. I really don't have anything going on during the week. I'm packing. So here lately, I've been boring.
It's all good. We still love you if you're boring. That guy's wife.
Thank you all for joining us tonight. We absolutely love that you guys and gals are out there supporting us. So be sure and check us out as we do our videos through the week. I don't drop very many on my channel as much anymore. I drop most of them on our Gun Gals. So, and again, if you have questions that you want us to answer, whatever they are, PG, please drop them to us. Send us an email. The email address is under the video. So, thank you.
Yes, definitely check that out. All right, real quick, I do want to give a huge shout out to Gun Channels. If you haven't yet, check it out. Gun Channels is an online 2A community where we can share and connect with other like-minded members. And we stream live there as well as here every Sunday at 9 p.m. Central. Also, if you haven't yet, take a moment to check out that Gun Gal SpreadShirt. We have tons of ways for you to help support Gun Gals while looking fabulous. You can find us at the link posted below. Arminthia, anything you want to add about the SpreadShirt?
Am I on? Yes. Just check us out. Our shirts are very unique. They are all about us. They are pretty much us. I mean, so.
Oh, yeah. They're the parts of us we want to share with you, and we think that you will enjoy as well.
Exactly.
So yeah, have
So
a
if
part
you-
of us with you.
Right. If you haven't seen them, seriously, you need to go check them out. So, you're when you see them, you're gonna laugh and you're gonna say, "Oh my gosh, that is so Jesse! Oh my gosh, that is so Frankie! Oh my gosh, that is so Liz!" Or "Oh my gosh, that is so Arminthia." I mean, it's just hilarious. So you're gonna love it. So just be sure and check them out.
For sure. Thank you guys all for joining us for this week's episode of Gun Gals Live. Next week, we're going to be starting a new series for August where we discuss a lot of different aspects of back to school, not just dealing with the kids, not just dealing with, because that's obviously it affects those of us with kids, whether they're in school or not, but also kind of how it affects you if you don't have kids, how it affects those whose kids are already out on their own. And we're going to be talking about just the different aspects, especially in today's day and age with all because let's face it, unfortunately, school shootings are a huge part of what we deal with day to day anymore in America. So we're going to kind of be tackling that as well as other aspects of back to school. So yeah, definitely come and check us out for that. We would also love your input for what content you'd like to see from Gun Gals on our live show and for the rest of our channel. You can share your ideas with us or just send us some love at info@gungals.com. All right, and we'll see you guys all later in the week. Be sure to check out our channel and we'll see you next week on live stream. Thanks, guys.